Hey there guys, Erin here again, and today is another day, and today I'm going to be participating in the Ketocookoff challenge that is being done by KetoConnect. I'm going to be baking something up here in my kitchen. What am I going to be making? At this point in time, I have no idea, but I'm sure I will put a picture of it in the thumbnail for this video, and I'm sure it'll be in the title of this video as well. So as of right now, if you're watching this, you have a better idea of what it is that I ended up making than I do. So the parameters for this cook-off challenge are pretty simple. There's 3 ingredients that you have to include. The 3 ingredients I need to use are avocado, egg, and cinnamon. So I'm going to guess that I could go either sweet or savory with this, and I think we're gonna go sweet. That's just a little bit easier. Avocado can be baked with, and so I'm thinking I'm gonna go that route. Right now I'm debating between 2 or 3 different things, and so this could get messy, this could get dangerous, but let's see what it is I end up doing. And I'm hoping that by combining all of these ingredients together, I get something that's not god-awful and doesn't taste like, you know, avocado vomit. I'm just trying to imagine cinnamon and avocado together, so it's tricky. Yeah, let's just get cooking. So right now, since I've decided to do a sweet treat, I've got my oven preheating, and I've got it preheating to 375 degrees because that feels like the best temperature for most baking items. I think I'm just gonna throw a bunch of different things into my mixer and pray to God I don't make something horribly disgusting, but we will see. I'm pretty good with faking it until I make it in this kitchen, so that is what we're gonna be doing. So the first kind of ingredient that I've got is a basically almost blackened dark avocado. It's got a little bit of a green booty, but it's soft. It feels like it's gonna mishmash into everything pretty good. The next thing I've got are 3 eggs. I might potentially use more. We'll just see how big of a mix I decide to use. So the other ingredient that you're supposed to use is cinnamon. So I've got mine right here. Some butter. We might go chocolatey. We will see. Pulled out some vanilla flavored liquid stevia. Some Sweet Love, which is a, basically it's like a powdered stevia version, but it's got also like chicory root inulin in it, and then some other stuff. It's a good alternative, like a good sugar replacement alternative for people who are like me and they can't handle, you know, erythritol or sugar alcohol. So yeah, this is what I sometimes go to. Most of the time I just do liquid stevia, but I think for this we might potentially need something that's gonna have that sugary texture to it. The other thing I pulled out was vanilla extract, some cream cheese, some macadamia nuts, because maybe I do something with a crust, or maybe I'll use that as a flour replacement. We shall see. So let's get cooking some stuff. All right, so right now I've got about 2.5 tablespoons of butter melting. And then in my double boiler, I've got about 2 tablespoons of butter, and then that entire chocolate bar. And this is gonna heat and melt up into a nice chocolatey, gooey consistency. So this is 88% dark chocolate. That is melting. This is almost melting. So over here I've got my food processor set up, and I'm gonna go in and put in a few macadamia nuts to chop up and throw into this food processor and kind of grind. I'm thinking I'm gonna make it into a powder. So in here I've put 1 cup of the macadamia nuts, and so I'm gonna go ahead and blend this up and see how much we get. Maybe I'll add more, but right now it is 1 cup of these macadamia nuts. That is all pretty blended and ground. So I think this is gonna be enough. I don't wanna use a ton of macadamia nuts. I'm gonna be mixing it with at least one other thing in order to get the texture of the product that I want. And so yeah, this is looking pretty good. Okay, so I've got a baking dish that I've buttered up, just so nothing sticks to it. And I've decided what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be doing a macadamia crusted cheesecake with the cinnamon. I've put 1/3 of a teaspoon of cinnamon into that 1 cup macadamia nut mixture. And I'm gonna be doing a cinnamon and macadamia crust avocado chocolate cheesecake. So this should be interesting. So I've got 1 egg in this cup and I'm just beating it with this fork because I don't want to put my whisk in here. And if you're somebody that does not have the fanciest of kitchen items, a fork is a great whisk. It works just fine. So I'm gonna add this egg mixture into my crust. And then that butter that I was melting, I'm gonna add that to this too. And we're gonna get a nice pasty looking thing like this. Dump that in here. This looks like it would be a good fake oatmeal. Alright, so I'm going to take a spatula and I'm going to spread that out nice and thin across this entire thing. This smells like literally oatmeal. This is crazy. What this combo, just that little bit of cinnamon will make something smell so good and so yummy. All right, so we've got a very, very, very thin layer of the crust mixture across this pan, and that's all I want. I don't really like a big thick crust on my cheesecake. I just want enough that I get that nice little crackle crisp taste with the creamy texture. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the oven. I'm gonna watch it because I've never done this type of crust and I am 100% not following a recipe. So the oven is at 375. I'm throwing it in now and we shall see what we end up with. I'm gonna put it in now for like 10 minutes and then I'm gonna check it and see kind of where we end up with this. So over here, I've got the double boiler. Oops, sorry guys. So over here, as the steam hits you guys in the face, I've got the chocolate melted with that butter. I'm gonna start stirring this up. Oh, hey there. What's going on with you? So I'm gonna go ahead and stir this up. Let's bring you guys back up here. And I'm just gonna go and use the spatula that I did. No, it's not bad. That I did the crust with. So we'll stir this up. Get this into a nice melt chocolatey yumminess. Ooh, this turned out really good. All right, so I'm gonna put this on the back burner so that it doesn't burn. You guys did get a little steamy. Yeah, I made you too tall. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get some of the other ingredients out and together, and so I will see you guys when the kitchen is a little bit more organized and we are ready to make the actual cheesecake portion of our dessert. Okay guys, so after about 10 minutes, the crust is done and ready to kind of rest. Yeah, I'm putting chocolate all over it, but you know what? Chocolate cheesecake is gonna end up on this thing. It is firm. As you can see with the spatula, and it's a good crust. So again, this was 1 cup macadamia nuts, 2.5 tablespoons of butter, and 1 egg in the oven, 375, 10 minutes in a buttered round cake pan. So I'm gonna let this kind of cool while I finish making the inside goodness. All right, so in the food processor now we've got 8 ounces of cream cheese, let's get in there, and half of an avocado. I'm gonna start with half of an avocado, and if I feel like I need more texture, then I will add the other half, but we're gonna stay with half of an avocado. And it's just like a medium-sized avocado. You saw it before, so I'm gonna blend these two things together, and again, hope for the best. So, I've got full-on, good, creamy blendedness. All right then, so I am going to scrape off as much of this good stuff as I can into my mixer. You could use a hand mixer. You don't need to have some sort of fancy mixing bowl contraption. Don't let any of the items that I have scare you from cooking. You could use a magic bullet to process and chop nuts and blend all this stuff together. So this is actually quite thick, and so I'm gonna put the eggs in, which is gonna help to kind of loosen this guy up and act as the good liquid. So I'm gonna add in 1, 2, 3 drops of the vanilla stevia. You're recording, right? Okay. Vanilla stevia. Then I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon of the vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of the sweetener. And this one is a 1-to-1 replacement for sugar. So if you're using a different sweetener to make this, the ratio for this one is 1-to-1 with sugar. So if you're calculating backwards, just calculate it as if it was sugar that I just used. The last thing I'm gonna go and throw in here is my chocolate butter mixture. And I'm gonna scrape every little aspect of this off and lock it and begin to mix it. So this is what we got going on in here. I'm not gonna go crazy. Maybe turn it up a little bit more. All right, we're gonna call it a day with that. All right, so I just did a lick test off of that bad boy, and this is gonna taste really good. So yay, something good worked out from playing around, not following any kind of crazy rules, just doing what we want to do. Okay, so I got all of that beautiful cake business leveled out, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop this back into the oven. I still have it at 375 degrees. So I've got it in the oven for 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I will do it for 20 minutes initially, and then I will let you guys know what the final bake time was when I pull it out of the oven. All right, so it's out of the oven. I ended up cooking this for 25 minutes at 375 degrees. I'm gonna let it cool. I think I might do a little bit of something extra on this one, so stay tuned. Okay, so that cake is out of the oven. I've actually put it into my freezer to firm up and cool down a little bit faster than it would on the countertop. I've come up with a potentially very tasty and I think ingenious way to cover up the fact that it did bubble a little bit at the top, because that's totally fine. It doesn't taste bad in any way. It didn't burn. It wasn't anything like that. It's just, you know, the mixture of egg and the cheese, much like a fathead crust, you can get that little bit of a bubble on there. So in order to cover that up and in order to be, you know, sneaky about it, we're gonna do a little topping. So this is gonna get a little bit more tasty and a lot more fun. So here we go. All right, so in here now I'm gonna put about 2 full cups of heavy whipping cream. Yeah, this thing could be a meal in and of itself. I'm also going to be adding to this another 5 drops of the vanilla cream stevia liquid. This one is a Now brand. You can find it online. I think Amazon sells it. You can also find it at several stores. I just like this one because it kind of comes out a little syrupy, if you can see that, which I think makes it just interesting when you bake or cook with. So I'm going to go ahead, put this on full blast. It's going to take a really, really long time to make it whipped cream, but we'll let that go. Alright, so in here I've got 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm going to put this at a medium-low heat, and then I'm going to be adding 2 heaping scoops. Actually, I'm going to do 1 1.5-ish heaping scoops of peanut butter. I'm going to heat that up so it melts. And I'm going to lick the peanut butter off the spoon because why not? And you know what? Because why not make it a little bit more sweet? I'm going to add 2 little squirts of the vanilla cream stevia again. So we're going to move this around as it kind of melts. It's going to make a little saucy guy, a little peanut butter sauce. Alright, it's melted enough because my kitchen is super hot right now. And this is kind of just, you know, what the peanut butter sauce looks like. Cake is out of the freezer. It's now cold enough that like I'm manhandling it and touching this, and it's, you know, not gonna burn me at all. So I'm gonna take all my whipped cream because this is just gonna be fatty fat time city, and you know what, I'm gonna enjoy it. Probably made too much whipped cream, but that's okay. Maybe I'll call this a better than sex keto cheesecake because this thing is basically reminding me of that whole, why am I off center? Sorry guys. Let's bring this over here. So that's what it looks like with the whipped cream on. Now I'm gonna take my spoon and I'm gonna drizzle all fancy style the peanut butter sauce across the top. Now we're going to cover this in good old aluminum foil, so that way it doesn't taste like freezer nasty. We're going to go ahead and put this back in the freezer for probably at least an hour, so all that yumminess gets nice and hard and kind of solidifies to the cake. So I'm going to go ahead, put this in the freezer for an hour, and I will pull it out and show you guys the finished product when we're all done.